So when somebody realizes that the body is a tuning for the divine, now you're on a healing journey, because you're entering a spiritual crisis, because you're no longer striving for or attaining your sense of ideal, and which is causing all of these chronic conditions to manifest in such a way where, I mean, that's why we say things like, well, whatever you're going to tell yourself to sleep at night, it's an unconscious way, it's an unconscious thing to say. And we're all saying it, but also it's true. When we do certain things, say certain things that leave us guilt or a sense of shame, that lowers our frequency. So when somebody recognizes that these chronic conditions, and that the body is a tuning for the divine, and that these chronic conditions are revealing to them that they are not attaining their sense of ideal, that the first thing is going to be personal responsibility. Taking a deep look at who you are, how you are, what are you doing that's contributing to these physical ailments. Because so we can start off with the simple things, like check your diet. Okay, you can get a food sensitivity test, go see an acupuncturist, go see a massage therapist, chiropractor, go see a functional nutritionist, go see somebody with, anybody that aims for preventative care, holistic care and preventative care, to kind of get all those things out of the way, because those are the what's. And then once you do the what's, the key is going to be in the meditation, the nutrition, improving your sleep, getting more physical activity, reducing your stress, and then eliminating things that are keeping you and preventing you from being ideal, right? That's causing all these issues as well. Once you do that, the next is going to be how you're doing it. Because if you're just checking a box, it's not going to get you there. How are you doing it? And then you really have to have support, because there's a lot of thoughts that you have, that we all have within us, that are unconscious, that we don't even recognize, that are happening in the background, even as you're listening, even as I'm speaking. These unconscious aspects themselves, that's like, are speaking to us and influencing our every single decision and thought, and they influence our free will. Well, let me give an example. I'm being super racy. I'm speaking super fast because I'm trying to encapsulate all these ideas. For example, an unconscious pattern is certain acts and behaviors that you're exhibiting that may resemble your family, your mom, your dad, or your loved ones. And you don't even know that you're acting or reacting or responding in such ways. And those are some of the patterns that you may have to learn how to observe it within yourself and then let go of. And that process takes time. And the best advice for that is you have to have a meditation practice, a self-observation practice as well, where basically you're observing yourself the same way you would observe a stranger. Like, why would that stranger do this? Why would that stranger do that? And why would that stranger react in such a way that's so volatile? And when you begin to observe yourself with such scrutiny, with such an observation, then and only then can you begin to pluck away those behaviors, because you don't even know that they're a part of you. And that is the first step. The next step is much more complicated, which is catching yourself in real time and then making those adjustments. Forgiving yourself, first of all, loving yourself, and then removing those aspects, those unconscious patterns over time. And this is a part of that personal growth, that spiritual journey. So from there, then those physical chronic conditions, they begin to kind of go away. And then let me share another thing that tacks onto that. I know I'm rambling, but maybe perhaps it's all good. when you begin this journey, and I'm going to look straight at the camera, because this is very serious. When you begin this journey, if and when you begin this journey, you can't turn back. If you decide to stop and turn back, all those physical elements, they'll come back. And there will be a whiplash effect. So, when you begin this journey, it is a journey of unfolding the self. It is a journey of a personal healing. It is a journey of spiritual healing. It is a journey of self-knowing. Self-knowing through the foods you eat. What does this food do to me? What does this sleep do to me? Who are these people am I around, and what are they doing to me? How does it affect me? What thoughts am I having? And where are these thoughts coming from? Who put them there? Right? It is a deep, deep sense of awareness and self-learning. And when you begin this journey, if you decide to stop, because it's going to be uncomfortable. I could tell you firsthand, it's uncomfortable. Because you're beginning to observe aspects of yourself that make you feel insecure, that make you feel vulnerable, that you don't like about yourself, and then you also don't realize that that's how you are or who you are currently. And so by learning how to observe yourself in such a way, and then begin to pluck away these aspects of the self, you begin to start this journey. And then the physical pain, the chronic conditions, they begin to go away, the inflammation, they begin to go away. Right? I kid you not. This year I lost, because during COVID, this year I lost 12 pounds. And then I hit a plateau. And I was like, what happened? And I had a personal trainer, had a coach, helped me tweak my diet, helped me tweak my exercise. I did all of that. I lost maybe another 3 or 5 pounds, 3 pounds, that was about it. And then I just plateaued, I plateaued. And then I had a mental breakdown. All of these past events from my childhood began to show up and manifest that caused all kinds of issues. As I began to work on all that stuff and work on it, get acupuncture, do more qigong, and do the things that the divine told me to do, which is kind of like sharing this message. Because if you don't do what they tell you to do, if you don't do what the divine tells you to do, then you also get, but that's another story. So the moment I started enacting and started serving my mission, then the rest of the weight just came off easy. I didn't change anything else. Everything was the same. And then the weight came off. Because that wasn't physical weight. That was emotional weight. And so you couldn't lose that physical weight because you didn't lose the emotional weight. You didn't drop the emotional weight. And so learning how to understand that, this may be not just be a physical thing, it may be not just be an apples to apples, it might be, it might be these emotions, because this body hasn't been able to let go of these traumatic events, that hasn't been able to lighten the load, so to speak. Then you can't lose that extra, whatever it may be. But as soon as I let that go and I produced healing, or at least I started that healing process, because produced healing is the wrong way of saying it, but I started that healing journey, then the rest of it, and then all of a sudden 7 pounds started coming off easy, and I was like, I didn't do anything different, I'm still doing everything the same. But that's my personal journey.